Greetings from Citizen Health and the Team Academy IFSME Connect. And in the series of People's Health It Matters, we have Dr. Asma Rahim, who is a professor and head in Department of Community Medicine, Government Medical College, Kerala. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am, on behalf of all the audience.
Hello, Ritu, and thank you for introducing me. And a good evening to you.
And we are very pleased to have you on this platform, ma'am. Today we are going to talk on a very general topic which we never think of it. We will talk about today the healthy habits for the street vendors. We everyone each one of us have some street food, but we really don't think about the healthy food habits, no? So we will talk about that today in very few minutes, in 10 minutes only. So I will start my question with my first question, ma'am, that why do you think that is this topic is of relevance?
Yeah, so see, currently in India, if you look at the number of street vendors, it is estimated to be around, let's say, 49.58 lakhs. Recently, the Ministry of Urban Affairs gave us the estimates of the street vendors. So many are depending on livelihood as street vendors. And, all of us, a large section of us, be it all sections of the society enjoy street food in the dabas and the golgappas, you know that. And, most of the street food are nutritious also, accessible, affordable to all. But the problem is, if not prepared safely, that leads to a lot of illnesses, even leading to death of persons who consume it. So that's something which is very worrying. And we understand that many of the street vendors face a lot of problems, especially they come from economically disadvantaged sections of the society, and they are unaware of safe handling practices. And
Hmm.
basically, some of them have got low literacy levels also, and they are not aware that if street foods are not prepared in a in a hygienic way, it is liable to contamination and cause diseases. So that is why I think this is particularly important that they know about
Hmm.
the safe ways of preparing food and the problems associated with it, as well as the legislations that go with it. So, from a public health perspective, this is a very good topic we have
Right,
selected today. Yeah.
right.
Thank you
Absolutely
to
right.
IAPSM for giving this
Thanks to you.
opportunity.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
And what are the basic problems which leads? I mean, what are the problems related to unhygienic handling of street food?
Yeah, because we've been noticing a lot of foodborne illnesses being reported across India. And as a avid traveler, and you said, like, we all like to travel and take food on the go, on the move. But we are prone to diseases caused by bacteria, viruses, fungus, and parasites in the food. And some of the important diseases which we notice are, lots of reports of hepatitis A, typhoid, then acute diarrheal diseases, including cholera. We have gastroenteritis, which is caused by bacteria and virus. Currently, in my place, there is an outbreak of norovirus, which is going on. And travelers, at least once in a lifetime, if you're a frequent traveler, you would have got traveler's diarrhea. You come back and you have loose stools, having had all those chutneys, and so it is common. And there is something called a Delhi belly, isn't it? When we go to Delhi, we are I'm not naming a place, but Delhi is the epitome of street food, and so that's why. So this, once it may all look on the surface, it may be mild. Many of us may escape within 1 or 2 days, but in a few of us, that may lead to dehydration and even death among the affected. So that is that's a great menace. We have to take care of it.
Hmm. Ma'am, can you please elaborate on the healthy habits to be practiced by the street food vendors?
So
Yes.
I think I would focus on the 12 tips regarding the personal hygiene. So I would like to focus more on the personal hygiene to start with. So the street food vendors should be educated regarding this. One is their appearance. That is, they should wear neat clothes and look presentable, because that itself builds a trust on the consumer. So you go to such shops and you keep going back. And the second one is, uh, I always look at their nails, whether it is cut short and kept clean. And also, yes, and then whether they clean their hands after handling the food. Especially, one thing you should notice is whether there is a soap and water kept there. Even for the travelers or the consumers, they should have soap and water for cleaning. And they should refrain from chewing tobacco and betel gum, and you know how disgusting it is while preparing food and with all those stuff. So that is different. I've seen many doing that. And some of them, they try to touch their mouth, tongue, nose, and eyes with bare hands and then keep preparing food. So all those areas colonize bacteria and various microorganisms which will cross-contaminate the food. And also avoid spitting, sneezing, coughing near the food. So that happens many of the time. We can see people, sneezing and then, cleaning their nose and then just wiping it on their clothes and go ahead with preparing and handling food. But we do not see it often. And another thing is, they should be careful to use head cap while serving the food. Head
Right.
cap, headgear should be there, and use an apron over the clothes. Do not serve food when you are ill. You can actually ask somebody else to handle the daba that day. And one important thing is, they should be aware that they should get dewormed every 3 months. Deworming, that is, get a treatment for anti-helminth to prevent helminthic infections. And always, they should also see, they should be taught that they should wash their hands every time they go to the washroom or the toilet, and dry using a clean cloth. And also, often something which we notice is that the same person who cleaned the surroundings will come back and start cooking the food and serving. So there is a chance of cross contamination that should be avoided. And in the case of ladies and even nails, some of them have jewelry like bangles and rings and all. While preparing food, they knead the dough with that. And so that is also another area where the food can get contaminated. So these are the
Oh.
things, a few things. These are the personal hygiene tips I would give them. But then the second area is that the certain things which they should be aware while handling food, and that is the place where they prepare the food. The food cart or the vehicle for transporting should be always kept clean by washing it regularly and then drying it and keeping it clean. And always be careful that they prepare only freshly procured food with raw materials for cooking food. Never ever try to store the food for a longer time. Always try to give hot foods. Now what happens is, on a weekdays when the sales is low, the food tends to be stale. The food that is prepared in the morning will be stored till evening, and that causes the growth of the bacteria, the organisms, and leading to diarrhea, etc. And clean the vending machines. That's important. I've noticed the sugarcane juices and juice extractors. So we don't know how clean it is. So in between, there are grooves or pits or surfaces where it's difficult to clean, and those are the areas where the organisms will start multiplying. So cleaning those areas, these machines and juice extractors properly is important. And always use separate utensils for raw meat, poultry, etc. And if you look at the refrigerators or small coolers, you can see mixing up all the Pepsi and the cans and the milk along with the vegetables and the the chicken, poultry. That often happens. So if the street vendors are taught or be made aware to follow these food habits, I think we'll be able to contain a large proportion of illnesses that's happening around.
Ma'am, what do you think that what are the problems faced by the street food vendors?
Yeah, the street food vendors are actually an unorganized sector, and they're facing a lot of struggle to live, because getting a space itself is a big, huge struggle in this in this huge urbanized places, and it's a struggle for livelihood. So the government, one thing is they should have opportunities for basic infrastructure and services, and that's something a great problem that they are facing. And then another problem is, they don't get clean fresh water. So lack of potable water supplies. So they take water from the rivers or open streams, which may be contaminated. And though they may heat the water for preparing tea and things, but for cleaning the utensils and other things, they will be using this contaminated water. That can lead to illnesses. And another thing is they do not have this, what do we say, facilities for waste disposal, which will lead to breeding of pests and rodents and other organisms. And basically, many of them, they do not know about that there is something, that the food hygiene is related to the health of the consumer. So that awareness is not there in many of them. If you go and to educated, they say, "Chalta, it's been there. We are doing it for a long, long time. Nothing happened." But the thing is, it's a moving crowd that is approaching, I mean, using these dabas and frequenting the dabas. They may not be aware of it. So that's something we have to, these are the problems that are faced by them.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for this conversation. I'm really assuring that we will continue this conversation for the next half in our next session. Thank you so much, ma'am, for this
Thank
conversation.
you. Thank you.